Hello everyone, how's it going? Daniel here. Today we are taking a look at the Folio Touch for the iPad Pro 11. Now this video is going to touch upon just this itself for the first half, then we'll compare it to the Magic Keyboard in the second half. However, let's go ahead and talk about this. I've been using it for the past couple of days, and it is basically the best all-around keyboard you can get for the iPad Pro 11-inch. And that is mainly because of the price and the features that it offers. So this retails for $160, which is $20 less than Apple's Keyboard Folio and $120 less than the Magic Keyboard. So definitely a really good price when compared to Apple's offerings. Unlike Apple's Keyboard Folio, this does have a trackpad at the bottom, has this really nice fabric, and the overall kind of keyboard layout almost looks like something from a Microsoft Surface. The trackpad is nice and large, definitely larger than something like the Magic Keyboard. It is nice and responsive enough. You can actually go into settings here and then go to trackpad, and you can turn on tap to click, which I do recommend doing mainly because this trackpad, you cannot click on the tops of it like you can with MacBooks and also a Magic Keyboard, but you can just click at the bottom if you just prefer. And that's actually what I do most of the time. However, you can turn on tap to click in settings, which fixes that and allows you to just tap anywhere you want if that's something you prefer. We do have a row of function keys at the top, which works perfectly here. So we can tap and play to pause music and play music and skip songs. We can click search here. It's all very easy to use. Brightness works perfectly. All the keys and all the buttons work perfectly. So no complaints there. That is very nice. You also have very nice keys. They actually end up being a larger footprint than the Magic Keyboard. And then we also do have this really nice fabric, which I think is just one of the best things about this keyboard, is that the material just feels super nice to actually hold and use and put on things, because it's a very nice grippy material that doesn't feel like it's going to slip out of your hand, nor does it feel like it's attracting lint and fingerprints. So overall, very nice material. You do have the ability to put your Apple Pencil here on the side, which is perfect because then you also have this little flap that covers that and prevents it from falling. And no way in heck is this thing going to open up on itself with that flap there. So that's very nice. And yeah, so basically overall usage here is just you open the flap, open the keyboard, then you use your finger to pull the back. Awesome thing about this here is also the amount of angles you get. One of my biggest complaints with the Magic Keyboard is the inability to use the iPad in the way that it was designed. So sometimes you want to draw, sometimes you want to watch movies, and this is perfect for that. Mostly because, like, let's say here, we just want to draw. This is a really good angle. Let's say, oh no, the keyboard's kind of annoying, it's in the way. Well, just fold it inward and now you have this angle right here to draw at. So that's kind of perfect, and you can just continue to draw there. Ignore that. That is my cat trying to sneak into the room in the back. But yeah, you can see that. It's actually very easy to draw, and there is not that much like bounce. There's some bounce, but once you put your hand here and you're just sketching, you don't really notice any bounce at all. And it is a very nice angle. You can move about. And I think it's really awesome. If you're watching movies or anything, you can actually prop it like that and put it on your lap. Let's say you're on your bed or anything, just put that on your lap. Or even if you're on a plane 10 years from now when COVID is gone, then you can do that as well. Just prop it up, and then it won't take up all that space with the keyboard. So you just have this little triangle that fits nicely on a tray table. And that's kind of just awesome. So if you want to use this also as a tablet, you can just put it like that, and there you go. You can put it as a tablet, even strap it to the back of a headrest while this keyboard is on. If it so happens that you want to take it out of the case, it is very easy to do. You just press here on the back of the camera and then just kind of pull it out while pressing at the other side right there. And then you're good to go. And there you go. And you never have to charge the keyboard. You never have to connect it through Bluetooth or anything because it uses Apple's smart connector right here on the right hand side. So that's kind of awesome as well. You're not going to get any extra USB ports that you get with the Magic Keyboard, but I don't think that's a big deal given that it's $160 and it already offers plenty of features for the price. So now comparing this to the Magic Keyboard, I did briefly mention that the tracking speed needed some changing there, and I do want to get into that. I'm not gonna lie and say that it's as good as the Magic Keyboard when it comes to actually typing and using the trackpad. I do like the size of the keyboard more, and I do like the trackpad size as well more on the Logitech, but they just don't work as good or as accurately as they do here on the Magic Keyboard. One of the cons with the Magic Keyboard is that it definitely is smaller right here, so you can't really rest your palms here and also type unless you get in this weird angle. So I end up going like this because I have larger hands. Not a big issue, but when you are using it on your lap or anything, this thing tends to want to fall back, and then you're basically holding it down with your palms from it falling back, if that makes sense. So again, not the best and definitely not as good as the Logitech in that regard. But again, when we go back to tracking speed and stuff, this, I don't have to bring it up so high because it is very accurate. The trackpad feels better. The keys feel better. The keys are a little bit larger, makes it easier to type and make less mistakes than it does on the Logitech. That's also worth mentioning. And you of course get that extra USB-C port here for charging so that you can still use the one on the right hand side of the iPad for data. Now I do hate the materials of the Magic Keyboard here, mainly because they attract a ton of lint. I actually bought a skin on Amazon that I put on here on the back, which looks fine. I'm actually not too super happy about it. It still attracts a lot of fingerprints, but at least they got rid of my lint problem. And on one of my previous tries for this video, I actually failed, or not failed, but I was showing to see how it would look once you remove the skin. But I basically removed the back skin because I had messed up one of the corners and I was going to replace the back skin. So I wanted to show what would happen if you bought a skin, attach the skin, and then remove the skin. And you can kind of see what's happened here. And I basically have ruined the texture of the back of this skin. I'm sure if I cleaned it with some alcohol, like 10% isopropyl or whatever, it'll get rid of some of the stickiness and stuff. But overall, I don't think I can return this to its original shape. So that is worth noting. If you put a skin on this, plan on committing to that skin, or at least committing to skins. If you swap them out, you might want to put another one on again just to hide this. But then I don't think another one would go on perfectly because now you have all these little bumps. So you have to just be really good at cleaning this and stuff. So worth noting. I think this is such an awesome material for a keyboard and case. It just feels so good to use, and every time you open it, it feels great in the hand. So that's just one thing that's worth noting when compared to the Magic Keyboard. But I think most of the little things are what I'm talking about here. And those little things like, you know, that extra little more accuracy in tracking speed, which can be updated from Logitech's end because they do have an app for that keyboard. So in the future, it can only get better in that regard. So this being $280 compared to $160, there's little reason or any way that I can say that this is even worth it over this one, because as you know in previous videos, I don't recommend this at all for the price because I think Apple is charging way too much for this. But again, if price is not an issue and if I was getting a free keyboard without having to pay, I would still choose the Magic Keyboard. And that is simply because that USB-C port does come in handy. And the fact that I can actually walk around while typing and kind of hold it and have a more rigid structure, that's actually come much more in handy. But again, since I'm paying for it, I would definitely rather have this for $160 and just use it on a desk and also get the functionality of being able to use my iPad as a drawing tablet and what it's designed for as well, without having to remove it here from the case and, you know, holding it, etc. But yeah, that's pretty much a quick comparison between the two and an overview of the Folio Touch here, which I definitely recommend if you're looking into iPad cases with keyboards and all that. I think for the price, it's definitely a good buy. So thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below and I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye.